Hey folks, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Uh, got a bit of a dumb moment here. You'll notice the bees are doing what bees are supposed to do with this particular setup. We have here a bucket with a Revolutionary Hives floater in it. Now this bucket is always here, and the floater is always in the bucket.
And it's just water.
It's just water. Well, it's water with lots of algae and such in it. The soup that bees dearly love. But quite honestly, I can walk by this 4 times a day, every day for 2 weeks and never see a bee in it. Because if you watch my videos, you well know I water my bees at the front of the hive because we have neighbor with pool and neighbor with pool and neighbor with pool without a screen around it. And of course, I have screens around mine and I still get bees in my pool occasionally, but not too many. This morning I was out here working in the yard and some of the uh, jars weren't, or they were empty, and which is normal, and I refilled them as I always do. So later in the day when I came out and there were a few bees in here, I was like, well, that's a little odd. Let me check the water again. Yep, okay, water's fine. And here we are at the bloody hot end of the day. It's what, the 26th?
May 26th.
May 26th.
It was
Tomorrow is Memorial Day.
it was 95 degrees in the shade today.
95. Okay, it's getting a little cooler now. Humidity's gone down, but uh, still it's bloody hot any way you want to look at it. So I'm thinking to myself, all the bees have water. Why am I suddenly getting bees? And it suddenly struck me, the Poppleton hive. I gave it a feeder of sugar when I installed them the other day, and I meant to come back and give them a feeder of water, but I didn't. So this is on me.
And I can honestly say that I was watching some of these bees and I was watching the girls take a drink and then boom, make a beeline right for that entrance.
Yeah.
So
here we have a jar of pool water because for whatever reason, bees love water with chlorine in it. And I have a salt pool, so I don't have to add extra salt to my water. I used to always add extra salt to the water, but I don't have to anymore since I got a chlorine generator from a salt pool last year. So I've got great. Here's a nice large PVC Boardman feeder. And we're going to open the Poppleton hive. We're going to check on the sugar water supply. And if they're making that much energy there, they're probably sucking that down in fast order. So we'll replenish that. Now, at least we know that the temperature isn't going to bother them with 2 inches of bald cypress on top of them.
so those are the boards that you made uh, to take up the space.
Yeah, I can't put feeders in there if I have. Yeah, well, they're certainly, as I said, they found the water.
You mean
Yeah, or the
sugar?
sugar rather. Yep, they're
You want
doing
to take
fine
that
with
up
the
so we
sugar.
can see the.
Okay, there's about half. I don't want to upset the girls. Hey, don't take that sweet stuff.
Oh yeah, they haven't gone through it quite yet.
They haven't gone through it. I don't need to do anything with that today. But we do need to do something with this. And it was always my plan to do this. I just didn't do it the other day.
So you're just going to put them in side by side?
Basically, yep.
Do you have different color caps for your, so you know which one's sugar and which one's water, or does it not matter?
It really doesn't matter. Well, this particular cap, which is a specialty feeder cap, only comes in one color, white purple. Wow, wasn't that exciting?
Not really exciting. But now we're just going to have to see. I mean, it shouldn't take them very long to find the water since they're over there
Yeah,
getting the sugar.
they're not going to change what they're doing today. It's too late in the day, and these girls have been tasked with finding water, and they have found a water source, and they're going to keep doing it. Now, overnight, when they're not flying, they're going to figure out this other water source, and we'll just see whether or not. I mean, probably these bees will keep on getting water there until the end of their natural lifespans. I wouldn't be at all surprised because, you know, once bees figure something out, they don't tend to try to figure something else out.
But at least they had water available to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had water out there available just in case.
And where did you get that floating device? Do you remember? Well, would
I
you
don't know.
mind looking it up and then we can post it on the video here?
I'll look it up and then we will post a link to where I got that little floater that goes in a 5-gallon bucket because yeah, I've filled those things with corks. Oh, I'll point one thing out since we're doing this. If you will notice, there are fair diameter holes drilled 1.5 inches or so down from the top here.
Is that in case it rains too much?
Well, if we get 19 inches of rain in 24 hours, so that way the water only comes up to so far and then it drains out and that doesn't go rising up and falling out or whatever, which is what happened with corks.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had holes like this in a bucket that I had full of corks, and the rain was so hard that most of the corks ended up on the ground anyway. The rain came down faster than it was draining, and it was pounding hard enough that it was bouncing them out. And I come out the next day, and there's like 12 corks in there instead of 40, and the rest of them are on the ground covered in mud all around. So, yeah, this has been a much better system. And you know, yeah, you get algae in there, and the bees love the algae. Anybody will tell you that you can give them a nice clean water source, and they'll go to the nastiest, scummiest uh, pothole they can find and drink from there instead.
It says Revolutionary Hives.
It says Revolutionary Hives, which is the company that manufactures it, but that's not where I bought it, I'm sure.
Right.
Hey, folks. Okay, quick update on watering the bees using the bee raft. Okay, as we said, this was full of bees a moment ago when you saw this. It's now a couple of weeks later. If you'll go to the entrance of the Poppleton for a second here, you'll see how much more heavily populated that hive is now because it's had lots and lots of brood hatch out. But as you see, when I walked up here, there was one bee in here because we have a watering system inside now. But okay, here's what we want to talk about. Revolutionary Hives, this is called their bee raft. This is the 5-gallon size, this is a 2-gallon size. Why a 2-gallon size? Because most beekeepers use a 2-gallon bucket for feeding, so they have lots of 2-gallon buckets around. The point here is that as of May 31st, 2024, Revolutionary Hives is no longer in business. They are not manufacturing these. There are plenty of suppliers out there that still have a stock of these. If you want one, I suggest that you not wait around, that you go ahead and order one. I went ahead and dropped $100 so I could get free shipping and ordered a bunch of both of them, just so that I have them going into the future. Okay, well, since this is a really short video, I did another really short video this morning on the downfalls of the 7-frame spacer in an 8-frame hive. And we're going to put those two videos together into one so that we have something that's a fair size. So stay tuned for the second video. Don't click off just yet. Hey folks, Rich here. This wasn't going to be a video, but it is now. So I was real happy when I got the 7-frame spacer for the 8-frame box, and I put my honey supers on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the box that's behind the videographer right now, they're behaving themselves just fine and laying it in just fine, but look what happened here. I don't normally have burr comb at all, and I certainly don't have anything like this, but I lined all these up and the box that was above it also, so this over here right now, and it's undoubtedly dripping honey like you don't know what from the ripped off combs here, because they didn't stay in, they didn't just build this way, they built out and started building down. So I don't know that I'll be trying this 7-frame system anymore. Yeah, I don't like a mess like this.
So how did they build down?
Well, they had more space between the frames, as you can see here. See where these should be touching and they're not at this point? Well, that means that there is an option. Come around this side and you might understand it better. You're looking at the fat side. You'll walk around and get the video from this side. You'll see how they're just barely touched at the edge and just kept going.
Okay.
So there's a problem. There apparently can be problems with spacing out 7 frames, particularly if you're not already using drawn comb. As you can see, this one they haven't even gotten to yet.
And these are the honey supers?
These are the honey supers above the queen excluder. But you see they are on this one, but you can see how they're building out. But on the ones above it, the box above it, they built out and ripped it off. We'll tip that box up and we'll see what we see. And then we'll call it quits for this, because I don't want you to be out here while I've got a mess going on. Ready? So let's see how this is ready to harvest. It's very heavy. Because of the shadows and your being there, I don't even see what's going on right now. So I can't tell you, because, yeah. As you can see, there was nothing wrong with the way the spacing was vertically and such. It was just being wider.
Oh,
they
I
took,
see.
They took the option to build down.
Came on this frame here and this frame, they built out from the frame and
Out
just
and
kept
down.
going.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Nope. Okay.
So
I understand now.
I think I'll go back to using 8 frames in my honey supers. You get more honey if you use 7 frames, and it's easier to harvest if you use 7 frames, but not at this cost, not for me anyway.
No, that makes too much of a mess.
Yeah. That's it. I was just out here in the bee yard doing some work, checking on supers and things, and yep, this one's ready to go, but it left me with a bit of a mess there.
And this has been Rich with South Florida Beekeeping with Rich.
She took the words right out of my mouth. See you later.